For 50 years now, the world has recognized April 22nd as Earth Day. And today we're marking this day really at a standstill. With the global pandemic of COVID-19 shutting down industry all over the world, a UK report predicts carbon emissions could fall by 5.5% this year, which will be the largest single year decrease in recorded history. But is that sustainable as we start to flatten the curve and reopen our world? We're joined by CTV science and technology specialist Dan Riskin. Hey, Dan, happy Earth Day to you.
Happy Earth Day to you.
Okay, so since China began in March, we've seen energy use, air pollution levels, and carbon emissions all start to rise again in the country. That is to be expected, but is there anything we could be doing about it?
Well, here's a little bit of a brain twister for you, and that is that pollution around the world kills around 9 million people every year. And so if you do a back of the envelope calculation about what China's just done, their emissions dropped roughly 18% for about a month and a half while they were in this pandemic. It's estimated that over that period of time, that saved more than 75,000 lives. And that was over a period of time where about 4,600 died from the virus. And so nobody's saying the virus is a good thing, but it does draw our attention to the fact that we're very focused on death from one direction, but we don't think very much about this thing that's right in front of us, that pollution is this thing we've just come to accept that kills more people than even COVID-19, so far at least.
Wow, that's amazing when you position it that way. Okay, I want to refer back to a number that I spoke about in the intro, that record drop in emissions. It still isn't enough to meet the goal set in the Paris Agreement of slowing temperature growth to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. So it makes me wonder, like, how realistic is that goal in the first place?
Right. I mean, that's what people are saying is like, if this doesn't do it, what on earth are we possibly going to do? I mean, we've shut down everything. The economy's shut down. If that's not enough to save the world, then we've got no hope, do we? But the thing to remember is that we didn't do these things to help the environment. The fact that the environment's a little cleaner this last month is a side effect of a whole bunch of things we're doing. But this hasn't been focused, and it certainly hasn't been sustainable. And the changes that people are putting forward are sustainable changes. So if you move your carbon emissions, so let's say you change your transportation from cars that emit, they use gasoline to electric cars. Well, that doesn't mean you have to stay in your house. That doesn't mean you have to quit your job. That doesn't mean you have to take all these terrible, unsustainable changes to your life. That's a sustainable way forward that's going to have a much larger impact on the economy. So what we've done here for COVID-19 wasn't designed to help the environment, but it gave us a glimpse of what's possible. And the thing it really did was to show us that as a planet, we actually can mobilize much better than I think a lot of pessimists would have said. When we're presented with a very clear and present danger, we as a Earth community can mobilize to make changes to save ourselves. And the climate is presenting something on exactly that scale. It is a present, clear danger. We're already feeling the effects of it. So the real question is, can we get everybody to listen to the environmental scientists the way they've begun listening to epidemiologists?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to study this in years to come, that's for sure. And we'll see if any change is to come as well. Hey, Dan Riskin, always good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Good to see you. Stay well. Happy Earth Day.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.